husband Hyatt Holman. We're co-chairs of the 2009 Shad Derby Festival. We're here at the Gala, which is the opening event of all the festivities. And we're looking forward to a wonderful evening and great speeches and getting to know the girls.
This evening. Before we start anything, we must invite our 2009 Shad Derby Queen candidates into the room, please. I normally would start with a joke, but I'm not very good at jokes. So I thought instead I would give you a very brief history of why we're here this evening. In 1955, which is 54 years ago, I see some of the people here aren't even 54 years old, a bunch of people got together from the Windsor Rod and Gun Club and the Windsor Chamber of Commerce and held a one-day fishing contest to bring attention to the conditions of the Farmington River. From that one-day fishing contest, this turned into a 3-week festival. This is the third oldest festival in Connecticut, which is appropriate since Windsor is the oldest town in Connecticut. In 1966, we crowned our first Shad Derby Queen. May 2nd, we will be crowning one of these 9 women here as the 39th Shad Derby Queen. As a side note, she's not here tonight, but our photographer that's around taking pictures, his sister was the first Shad Derby Queen. That shows you how old he is, right? And finally, in 1970, again, 39 years ago, Roger Olson from, at that time, Combustion Engineering, which ended up being ABB, which I think is Alstom now, wanted to show appreciation to all the committee people who work on this committee, and he designed the Shad Derby pin. The same design has carried for 39 years. The only thing that changes every year is the color of the ribbon on the pin. They underwrote the cost of the pins for years and years and years. About 4 or 5 years ago, they stopped, and we were running around trying to find a sponsor. We approached at that time Ohio Casualty and asked them if they would be interested in underwriting the cost, and they very graciously said yes. Well, as things go, they were sold 2 years ago. So we went back out to the new company, Peerless Insurance Company. And we said, here's the deal, are you interested? And they stepped up to the plate and took care of it for us. Fortunate enough tonight to have the resident vice president from Peerless, Paul Shamira, and his wife, Stephanie, here. And I'd like to ask Paul to come up and say a few words. I'm going to give him this pen too, by the way.
Thanks, Mike. And it's a pleasure to be here on behalf of Peerless Insurance. And we're, by the way, a part of the Liberty Mutual Company. For those of you who know Liberty, on behalf of the organization, we're thrilled to be here, and we're thrilled to provide the support. We wish everybody, all the contestants, luck. And I'm looking forward to the evening and meeting all of our contestants. So I'm not here to hold anything up, but thank you. Thanks for doing it.
The other corporate sponsor that we'd like to thank publicly tonight, you see in the paper all the time. They don't just do things for Shad Derby, they do things for almost every event here in town. And that is Windsor Federal. They underwrote the cost tonight of the food that you had an opportunity to eat. Thanks to Bart's and Eatery Bistro. I hope you enjoyed the food. Was it good? Okay, good. In addition to picking up the tab tonight for this, Mark Griffin and Windsor Federal are very nice to pick up the cost of the hors d'oeuvres at the Shad Derby Ball, which will be held May 2nd. So Mark, I have a pin for you too. Do you want to come up and say a few words?
Just for those of you who follow the news, we didn't take any TARP money, so it was okay to have the good food. If we did, you would have had potato chips or something like that. But, anyways, we're very pleased to be part of the Shad Derby. My former boss, Al Gagnon, was one of the original members. I don't know if he was, I think he was chairman one, and some point in time. But anyways, we've been involved in it ever since, and as part of being a community bank, I'd like to wish everybody here luck. Thank you all.
Now, my last job, and the one that is going to make these two guys the most happiest guys in the world, is to call up the 2008 co-chairs of the Shad Derby, which means this is their last official act. And they can go back to doing what they were doing before. First, Dr. Robert Gansey, please. Traditions of the Shad Derby is to pass the hat and cane every year, and that's what these fellows are going to do right now.
Good evening. Just I know the girls want us to move this along quickly, but I would just like to make one mention before we continue. Mike alluded that in 1966 was the first time we crowned a queen, and the person that chaired that year recently just passed away. That was Harry Ellingwood. So. We could just maybe spend a quick moment in his remembrance. Thank you. We'd like to pass the hat, so we would like to bring up this year's co-chairman, Hyatt Hallman and Shannon Rabbit Hallman. Which way? Yeah. We wish you all lots of good luck, and we want. Carrie and I and Hyatt helped us. Obviously, Hyatt helped us last year too. Is to thank all of you for the tremendous support you gave to Derby. And this year is going to be more challenging than ever. So I would encourage you all to continue your support. On behalf of all of us, thanks an awful lot.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Dad, for starting us off. What I'd like to do, first of all, is thank all of our contestant sponsors: Noon's Quality Plumbing and Heating, Windsor Lions Club, Cicero's Sunoco Store, feel free, PC Development, Brooklyn Plumbing, Hairdresser on Fire, Ashley's Distinguished Jewelry and Gifts, Windsor Kiwanis Club, and Exchange Club. Without our sponsors, none of the girls would be here today, so I'm sure they appreciate it, and we appreciate it. You know, other than being a contestant sponsor, there are other ways to support the Shad Derby Festival. We have our houses, which are right over there. I brought a few samples. That there are mini productions of Windsor's historic and notable landmarks and buildings. You can purchase them at the Windsor Chamber of Commerce offices, Ashley's Distinctive Jewelry and Gifts, Windsor Federal Savings and Loan, and Rabbit Insurance Agency. There are, I think, 10 total, so you can purchase a whole set, be a nice Christmas gift for next year. Or the other way you can support the festival is buying an ad in the Coronation Ball program. Most of the businesses in town should have, or if they haven't already, received a letter which outlines the sponsorship program and the different levels that you can be recognized for an ad. If you are interested in putting in an ad, we have a couple of copies over there if you want to grab one tonight on your way out. And also I wanted to Speaking of the ball program, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Konica Minolta, the BizHub Image Center. Mitzi, are you still here? No? Well, Mitzi. Mitzi Koninis actually does all of the, she works with whoever at the time is working on the ball program. She does all the printing, she does all the layout for it. And Konica Minolta donates this every year. They have for several years. So I just wanted to thank them. I'd also like to recognize and thank the past Shad Dairy chairs who are with us this evening. Half of them were already up here, so and they're already standing conveniently. So Carrie Ruiz, 3-time Shad Derby chair, co-chair. Bob Ganji also served three terms. Marty Collier, where's Marty? Marty, 06 co-chair. Don Trinks, right there, and is also our esteemed mayor. Thank you for coming. Don's got 7 years as a Shad Derby chair, and then of course we have Mike Rabbit, otherwise known as Dad, who's 8 years. So thank you all. Now the Gala is just the kickoff of a host of events that comprise the Shad Derby festivals, and there are 8 organizations that make up the Shad Fest Bureau. The Chamber, the Civitans, the JCs, the Junior Women, the Kiwanis, the Lions, the Rod and Gun Club, and the Freemasons. Other than the race for the Queen, there are other events that go on from now until Shad Derby Day on May 16th. So please visit our website. It's windsor-shad-derby.org, and that has a whole list of the events and dates, and so we hope to see you at some other of the events. Also, I'd also like to thank the committee members that are helping Hyatt and I, as well as the other organizations, to put on all of these events. Kathy Kopax and Dina, I'm going to butcher your name, is that what I do? Yep, Dina. Are our Queen's chairs once again. They've done it for the past couple years. They always do a great job with the girls, so thank you. Also, we have a couple newbies here to the Shad Derby. Brad Hastings is our treasurer this year. And Jim McNamara and his wife Kimberly McNamara are our judges co-chairs. So, and now I'm going to let my husband talk, which doesn't normally happen, so I hope he enjoys this. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. I have the privilege of introducing our judges this evening, and personally I think it's the hardest job out of everybody's job, because usually it's always a tight race, and it's comes down to slivers of points, so good luck. Okay. When I call your name, just give a quick wave or stand up so everybody can see who you are. Our first judge is Marilyn Santos. Marilyn was born... Marilyn was born and raised in Hartford and currently resides in South Windsor. She graduated cum laude with a BS degree in finance from Central Connecticut State University. She has been an insurance and financial advisor with the Charter Oak Agency of the Mass Mutual Financial Group since January 2007. Marilyn is a member of the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, the South Windsor Chamber of Commerce, the Business Builders Chapter of BNI in South Windsor, and the Hartford Area Habitat for Humanity, and has time to show up tonight. Marilyn also works with the YWCA and their Young Women's Leadership Corps program, teaching financial literacy to young girls between the ages of 14 and 21. She enjoys helping others reach their full potential and uses her part-time business as a Mary Kay beauty consultant to reach and help women look and feel amazing. Thank you, Marilyn. Next judge is Jennifer Tedesca. Jennifer grew up in Trumbull, Connecticut before attending UConn's NEAG School of Education. After graduating with a master's degree in education with a specialization in English in 2004, she moved to Tallinn and began teaching at Coventry High School. She is currently in her 5th year, and there is also the class of 2009 advisor, International Travelers Club advisor, and co-advisor of the CHS Book Club. She has traveled with students to London and Paris and is scheduled to return this April to London and lead a group through Italy in 2010. In her spare time, she works on items to sell at fairs and online for the company she co-founded, livelovewish.com. Jennifer, thank you. Our next judge is Lori Beth Munoz. Lori Beth was born and raised in Windsor, Connecticut. She attended Emerson College in Boston as a musical theater major before finishing her studies in education at the University of North Texas. Lori Beth currently resides in Hartford and is the hospitality manager at Real Art Ways. Hartford's internationally recognized contemporary art space. This position allows her to work with various vital community organizations such as Leadership Greater Hartford, ICR Experience, CT Green Scene, Urban League Hype, and the Greater Hartford Arts Council. In her free time, Lori Beth works with Connecticut high school students as a diversity educator for the Anti-Defamation League. Lori Beth is thrilled to once again have the opportunity to be part of the Windsor's best loved tradition, having been crowned Shad Derby Queen in 1993. I'd also like to introduce our auditor, who's been gracious enough to be here. What is this going to be your 4th year or 3rd year? 3rd year. 3rd year. Timothy Carmen. Timothy Carmen was born and raised in Windsor, Connecticut. He attended Loomis Chaffee in Windsor, graduating in the class in 1999. Tim went on to the University of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia, graduating with a BS in accounting and a BA in religion. Soon after college, he passed the CPA exam and became a practicing CPA in the state of Connecticut. Currently, Tim works at the Mass Mutual Life Insurance Company in Springfield, Massachusetts as a corporate financial risk manager. In 2004, Tim moved to South Windsor after marrying his wife, Kristen Rowe, whom he met in college. They have a 9-month-old son named Drew. So I would like to introduce our Queen's co-chairs, Kathy Kopax and Dina Stick-Schultze.
Good evening, everyone. You're in for quite a treat this evening. We are thrilled to have all the girls that have joined us this year to be in the Shad Derby Queens competition. They are a talented group, bright group of girls. You'll see when they come up here. So we're thrilled to have them. They have made a commitment in being here. We also actually, before I go on, we have a committee that has been working with the girls for the past month or two, and members of our committee are Mariah Lombardi and Pam Micah and Linda Carter. Linda Carter could not be here this evening. So what these talented girls are going for is they would all love to be the queen. The queen is not alone. The queen has a court. We have a Princess Royale, a first princess, a second princess. We have Miss Congeniality, and we also have Mariella Messina Award winner, which is for community service. So, how do they decide who is going to be what we like to call the fish queen? The judges have a very difficult task ahead of them. And this is the first of 3 judging events. This evening, you will hear them do a short introductory speech, and the judges will have to judge that, and what they're going to be looking for is poise, appearance, how they present themselves. And that comprises 15% of the overall score. The next event is the one that has the highest percentage. 60% of their score is based upon their interviews with the judges, which the only people in the room are the girls and the judges. So nobody sees that. And that is where they ask them about current events, about their knowledge of current events, their activities, their resume. It's almost like a college interview. So that is the second event. that is a judging event that weighs a lot. The last event, which is the most glamorous of the events, is at the Shad Derby Coronation Ball. And they will be preparing an essay, a little bit longer than this evening. And that, again, they will be judged on their poise, appearance, the actual essay itself that they will be writing. We just gave them the topic tonight, so they'll be busy on that. But we said, before you think about that, let's work on our speeches this evening. So, without further ado, we would like to introduce the girls one at a time as they come up and introduce themselves. I'll turn it over to Dina.
All right, let's get started. The first person is Allie Doe, Miss Windsor Kiwanis.
Family, distinguished guests, sponsors, and fellow candidates, good evening. I am a senior at the Loomis Chaffee School and have been living and learning in Windsor, Connecticut for almost 18 years. I believe there are a few indispensable pillars in our lives: family, strong friendships, exceptional education, and the ability to keep up with today's ever-accelerating society. As a seasoned cross-country runner, I've found that not only in racing, but in life, that pace is a quintessential quality of those that lead affluent lives. Whether I'm in class, vying for a first place finish, or perfecting my footwork, I try always to find ways to steady my pace, clear my mind, and remain focused on my goals. This technique has paid off for me not only on the cross-country course, having placed second last fall in the Division I championships, but also in masterfully playing a piece of music and efficiently earning exemplary grades. There is nothing like overcoming an obstacle or achieving a goal, and I attribute each of these things to the pace at which I run, learn, and live. Running has taught me to master my pace, and life has taught me to embrace it. Thank you.
The next person is Kayla Jagetkis, Miss Noon's Quality Plumbing and Heating.
Good evening. I'm the 5th generation of Jagetskises to be living in the town of Windsor. My great-great-grandparents came here from Lithuania to start their life in America. Fortunately for me, they chose to settle in Windsor, and our family has lived here ever since. My grandparents, father, and I all attended Windsor High School, where I am playing my second year on the varsity softball team. I also have been working at the Roger Walcott Treehouse program since the beginning of the school year, where I supervise and play with the kindergartners after school. I enjoy working with children, and it has been a valuable experience for me. After I graduate this year, I will be joining the United States Marine Corps for 4 years. I will be leaving in September for Parris Island, South Carolina, to begin my training. The Marine Corps is going to be a challenging yet rewarding experience, and I look forward to going. Thank you.
Erica Burke, Miss Ashley's Distinctive Jewelry and Gifts.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. I've been a swimmer since I was 10, starting out on the town's recreational team, then the girls' high school team. Swimming has always been my passion, but I never imagined any team being as close and as family-like as the girls' swim team was. Having our coach, the captains, and swimmers new and old around made any negative thought that I had about this sport disappear. These people also acted as a backbone for me all 4 years that I have swam. Being able to go to anyone for help or encouragement, no matter how silly we thought the question was, really made being on the team a great experience. Without all of the support coming from the team, I don't think that I could ever call the excruciating 2-mile runs fun, or the circuit training a good time, and even the swimming enjoyable. But don't get me wrong, going to meets and being known as the team with the best cheers and cheering the entire ride home to and from the meets made every minute of it worthwhile. Thank you.
Kelly Flynn, Miss PC Development Group.
Good evening. I'm a senior at Windsor High School and co-president of the French Honor Society. In my free time, I play in my church handbell choir, tutor, and babysit. Through my church, I've had the opportunity to become involved in mission work. Over the summer, I traveled to Biloxi, Mississippi, where I helped rebuild homes for Hurricane Katrina victims. Most recently, I traveled to Ensenada, Mexico, on the Baja Peninsula, where I helped build a home for a family in need through the Homes of Hope program. On the last day of the trip, the family's four-year-old daughter, Andrea, came up to me and said thank you in English. I was shocked by her courage in approaching me, especially since she knew no English. Although I'm fluent in French, Andrea made me realize my desire to become fluent in more languages, such as Spanish and Sign Language. I plan on attending the Catholic University of America and pursuing a career teaching English as a second language in underprivileged areas as well as other countries. By better communicating with others, I feel like I will make a difference. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Karen Morris, Miss Windsor Lions Club.
Good evening, everyone. As a senior at Northwest Catholic High School in West Hartford, Connecticut, I'm the only girl in this competition attending school outside of Windsor. I've lived in Windsor my entire life, however, and I'm very much a Windsor girl at heart. During my 4 years of high school, I've met my fair share of intolerant, judgmental, and prejudiced people. I've been judged based on everything from the clothes I could afford to the color of my hair. When I first entered school at Northwest, my freshman year, I was shocked at how different things were from the tolerant and diverse community where I had grown up and always been accepted by everyone I met. I take pride in knowing that my experience living in Windsor has made me who I am today, and I will take the values I've learned here with me wherever I go and wherever I end up. I hope to instill these values in others I meet down the road and have developed confidence in myself and the decisions I make. I hope to go on to college where I can explore careers dedicated to helping others and discovering the same things that I have as a Windsor kid. Thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Megan Golightly, Miss Exchange Club.
Good evening. I am a senior at Windsor High School, and I love participating in school activities. One activity I participated in is volleyball for 3 years. I also be co-president and student advocate for TAG, which is Teens Against Any More Genocide. In the fall, I will be attending Westfield State College in Massachusetts to major in early childhood education and with a minor in psychology. In obtaining these degrees, I am hoping to gain my teaching certificate and help children learn. I started working with children at High Meadow Day Camp, where I also attended as a child. 2 years ago, I got a job at Roger Wilcott Elementary School, where I was working with children in the classroom. This experience has given me the opportunity to work with kindergarten-age children. This has offered me valuable skills that will help me reach my goal with working children after I graduate college. It is my hope and my dream to make sure that every child I meet realizes their full potential. Thank you.
Chelsea Yeomans, Miss Brooklyn Plumbing.
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. If I had to pick out 4 years ago what made me different from anyone else, I wouldn't know what to say. I got good grades, was average at sports, and I felt like everyone else, until I came to high school and found something that I love. I joined the volleyball team hesitantly because I hadn't played volleyball other than in gym. I was curious, but somewhat uninterested. Despite my initial unenthusiastic attitude, I managed to step out of my comfort zone, and it turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life. I learned about teamwork, dedication, and perseverance, and I was able to find myself in a way that I couldn't before. All my hard work paid off when my team made it to states for the first time in over 17 years. That is a moment that I will never forget. Although realistically, I will never be a world-famous volleyball player because I clearly don't fit the stereotype of the 6'3" woman with endless legs, what I do know is I still intend to play my heart out because volleyball has shaped me into who I am today. Thank you.
Amanda Whalen, Miss Cicero's Sunoco Store.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm currently a senior at Windsor High School, and I recently learned something very interesting about my family. The town flag that stands here in this chamber, actually it's right there, was actually made by my aunt and dedicated to the town of Windsor in 1976 by my grandfather. But my most honorable and most rewarding experiences so far include my involvement with veterans. My fondest memories include the past 4 years riding on the back of my dad's motorcycle for the Rolling Thunder Run to the Wall rally in support of our troops every May. But this coming May, I will be the youngest participant in this event, riding next to my dad and my mom on my own motorcycle. I also enjoy visiting local veterans' homes and was honored to be chosen to read a section of names at the dedication of the 612th Connecticut Vietnam Veterans Monument. And on that note, it would be my humble honor to at least thank all the men and women who served in the armed forces for your noble services to our country. Thank you.
Abby Michaud, Miss Hairdresser on Fire.
Good evening. I would call myself a social person. Being alone is not an option for me. I choose activities that involve different people, whether it's working at Treehouse Daycare, waiting on tables at Harvest Cafe and Bakery, or community service through the Windsor Police Explorers. I enjoy working with children, people my age, all the way through the elderly. Every year, I work the constantly name-changing golf tournament in Cromwell, Connecticut. This year, I think it's called the Travelers Championship. Explorers have the daunting task of parking cars in a massive field early in the morning and having patience for those who are not morning people. Out at Harvest, I'm always interacting with people, from the child at the table crying because they can't have chocolate milk, to the elderly man sitting at the counter complaining that his eggs weren't runny enough. Everyone knows that the smallest thing can set a kid off. Well, the kid is just like the man whose eggs weren't up to his standards. Whatever the mood, good or bad, I'm the person who feels it is my responsibility to make sure that you have a smile on your face. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Do we have another round of applause? So graciously, my wife went through all the events, and we hope to see other faces out there at the other events we have for this year's Shad Fest. And this concludes our event for this evening, so everybody have a safe ride home, and thank you very much.